The O'Reilly Factor is on tonight. John Walker on his way back to the USA, but should he be charged with treason? One respected law professor says yes. A woman's legal group says some federal 9/11 money should go to affirmative action for women. We'll debate that. Mike Tyson involved in yet another bizarre incident. We have the tape on that. And a newsman says amnesty for all illegals. We'll talk with him. Caution, you're about to enter a no-spin zone. Factor begins in 90 seconds.
Fox News Live, I'm Kiran Chetri. The Pentagon is defending itself against critics who are questioning the treatment of Taliban and al-Qaeda prisoners. Defense Chief Donald Rumsfeld says the captives are being treated humanely in accordance with the Geneva Convention. He also said that tight security measures are needed because the men are dangerous and some have threatened to kill Americans. International critics, though, say the United States could lose its support in the war on terror if it doesn't declare the detainees prisoners of war. The Red Cross, though, says that it is satisfied with the access that the U.S. military has given it to the detainees.
The prisoners also cooperate so far very well with the ICRC. So we have access, we have the chance to have our private interviews in a calm, serene situation to the extent possible, and that's what we have been asking for.
Right now, 158 detainees are now being held at Camp X-Ray in Cuba. More chaos in Jerusalem after a gunman opened fire on a busy street. 2 people were killed and 14 others wounded before the gunman was shot and killed by police. They say he belongs to a group with links to the Fatah movement of the Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat. Hours earlier, Israeli commandos killed 4 Islamic militants in the West Bank. That is our update. We'll be back again for you coming up at the bottom of the hour. I'm Kiran Chetri. The O'Reilly Factor is up next here on Fox News.
Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thank you for watching us tonight. I would like to welcome our new viewers in Lansing, Michigan on AT&T Cable. We hope you like the Factor. Money is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. The sad truth is that money is the most important thing in America right now. It dominates politics and it can cause major problems. We all need money to live, and the pursuit of currency is intense for many of us. This Enron mess is all about money, and so is the war against terrorism. Many fanatics hate us because America is a capitalistic society and our materialism offends some of the have-nots around the world. Money is also dividing Americans at home. The Democratic Party and the liberal media continue to pound the drum of higher taxes for the rich and attack those who do not support that philosophy as insensitive to the poor. It is a classic class warfare tactic used throughout history by those seeking power from the masses. But listen to this. IRS data shows that the top 1% of taxpayers in the USA pay 36% of all federal income tax. And the bottom 50% of wage earners pay just 4% of federal withholding. That means most Americans making a below-average salary pay only Social Security taxes to the feds. Now, many Americans believe that's fair, that the wealthy should carry the burden. And they are. Americans making more than $100,000 a year are giving about half their earnings to Uncle Sam, and the Democrats want more. The Bush administration believes that the government is taking too much money from its citizens, and that philosophy, in a way, does protect the rich from paying even more tax. There's no question that we have creeping socialism right now in the USA. We have huge government programs designed to help the poor and provide each American with the basics. Soon the elderly will have a government-paid-for prescription drug allowance. Soon there will be free health insurance for the poor, who already have entitlements in housing, food, and education. The problem is there's little oversight in how this tax money is being spent, and fraud and waste abound. Remember, in California, the Medi-Cal program for the poor loses more than $1 billion a year to criminal fraud. So the question becomes, how much more can the government demand of the well-off? Will the so-called progressive tax rate continue to climb? Talking Points believes Colorado has the right idea. Any tax raise has to be put to a vote in that state. In that way, the people decide what the state government is entitled to. The same thing should be done on the federal level. If Americans want a socialistic approach, let us vote on it. The tax rate should be set by the people, and the government would then have to live within that mandate. That would be fair, and spending accountability would have to rise. Right now, we have is a never-ending tax gravy train that is in direct conflict to our capitalistic system. And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight, Taliban John Walker coming home to America to stand trial in a federal court. But should the charge be upgraded to treason? Joining us now from Washington is Douglas Kumek, the dean of the Catholic University Law School. So you say treason for Walker.
Well, Bill, I think it's the most appropriate charge. It's the one that fits the facts. What he's been charged with thus far is a crime that really is not well fitted to what he's done. What he's done is, according to what we know, is levied war against the United States, given aid and comfort to the enemies. And that's exactly how Article 3 of the Constitution defines treason, and I think that's what should lead our complaint. The charge that's been brought against him is giving material help or support to a terrorist organization. When Congress passed that statute, they were largely talking about financial resources and goods and services. They weren't talking about the quite serious matter of engaging in taking up arms against your own country.
All right. Now, why do you think the government backed away from the treason charge? A lot of Americans feel the way that you do, that he's a traitor, that he was involved in armed conflict against United States soldiers, that he was indeed on the scene when a CIA agent was killed in Afghanistan. So why did the government downgrade the charges to conspiracy and other things that give him 15 years to life?
Well, first of all, the government hasn't totally closed the door on that, and that's one reason why I think it's important to speak out about it. The Attorney General, in announcing the complaint, said he's going to continue to investigate and perhaps file additional charges, and I hope that's the case. I think the government hesitated, Bill, because the textbook law on treason is that it's very difficult to prove. You need to prove you have to have two witnesses to an overt act of betrayal against your country or a confession in court. You have to demonstrate an intent to betray. But what the Department of Justice didn't entirely think through is that the charges they've brought against him are going to be difficult to prove as well. So why not bring the ones that actually fit the crime rather than the ones that are certainly going to be challenged because of the statements he made while he was in custody and without
Dean,
counsel?
I'm not a lawyer, but even I think I could prove in a court one count of conspiracy to kill nationals of the United States of America overseas. I think I could prove that. Here's a guy who's got a gun, okay? He's in a terrorist army. He's captured. I think I could prove that, Dean. So this looks like a slam dunk, this one case.
I think the Attorney General thinks so as well, and I hope he's correct. But remember that if you look at the complaint, Bill, most of it is based upon the admissions that he made while in custody. And what do we know is already happening? His lawyer is seeking to exclude all of those admissions by virtue of the fact that he was in custody at the time and that he made them. Well, if that's the case, wouldn't it be wiser, and I think it's worth considering, proving a case against him not based on what he says about himself, but about his own acts? Certainly among all of the hundreds of detainees, we can find people who were witnesses to his training with al-Qaeda and his witnesses to firing upon special forces in Afghanistan.
I don't think that would be hard to do. Whether the government is going to go to that trouble to do it, I don't know. Now, what about the citizenship thing here? That has been bothering me. You know, on your passport it says you can enlist in a foreign army, you lose your citizenship. Shouldn't he be stripped of his citizenship right away?
Well, you're quite right. The passport reminds us that if you engage in foreign hostilities against the United States, you run the risk of relinquishing your citizenship.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, it means that basically the crime is proven by your intent to relinquish your citizenship. That intent can be inferred from actions. I think, Bill, that case can be made. But the point is, strategically, why make that case? You would make it symbolic.
Yeah, I mean, you strip him of his citizenship, it sends a message. That's the only thing.
Or practically, if you wanted to bring him not in front of a civilian tribunal, but in front of a military tribunal. But I think quite properly President Bush is reserving those for the leadership of al-Qaeda and not the footnote of history, which I think is John Walker.
I understand that, although I don't want the grandstand show, and I think we're going to get that in the Virginia courtroom. I think you're going to see a circus there. The last thing is, I believe that the federal government, which is, the Bush administration, very, very image conscious. And I don't think they want to kill this guy. I don't think they want to put him to death. I don't think they want to give him life in prison. I think they want to give him 15 to 20, say he's a dopey kid. Because you remember President Bush's initial remarks about him. He's a dopey kid, we'll give him 15 years, send a message, and that's it.
I think there's not a parent in the country who doesn't feel some empathy with the Walker lens. But the fact of the matter is that treason is a charge while death is the maximum penalty, there can be lesser penalties as well. My point is, legally, why not say what he is, namely someone who has committed treachery against his own nation?
All right, Dean, thanks very much. We appreciate your point of view, and we'll see what happens. Next up, why does a prominent women's legal group want federal money for affirmative action for women, and that money is from the 9/11 fund? What's going on with that? We'll find out in just a few moments.
This program is brought to you by the Northwestern Mutual Financial Network. Are you there yet?
Their parents all have great jobs, live in the same neighborhood, same cars, same vacations. So why will some families be paying for college while the rest are praying for scholarships? Some people already know our financial representatives excel at a lot more than life insurance. Northwestern Mutual Financial Network. Are you there yet?
The couch. When you've got the flu, it's so far away. Get there with Advil Flu and Body Ache. It's got the strength of Advil, so nothing works harder on body aches, headaches, and fever. Plus a powerful decongestant. It makes having the flu a lot more comfortable. Fight the flu with Advil Flu and Body Ache.
Here's juicy news from Robitussin. We've added real natural orange juice to a soothing vitamin C throat drop. New Sunny Orange Vitamin C Drops from Robitussin.
Today at IBM.com, we're talking about the NetVista A22. It's a fully loaded, expandable, genuine IBM business computer.
Leon, what is with the outfit?
You want to see something really cool? Watch these phones. Folks, call the number on your screen now. The A22P could be yours for not $12.99, not $9.99, but for the everyone has to be sold low price of just $7.99. Watch this phone. This bad daddy comes with an Intel Pentium 4 processor, 1.5 gigahertz, 128 megs of RAM, 20 gig hard drive, and Microsoft Windows XP Home, all for just $7.99. 3, 2, 1. And if you call now, you'd only get the A22P with the Intel Pentium 4 processor for just $7.99, but you could also get a free CD burner. You might want to pick that up. IBM.com. All right, now we are smoking. Call now. Operators are standing by, and these things are going fast.
You might want to go to the website.
Can I make the numbers flash on screen now?
The Impact segment tonight, the Now Legal Defense and Education Fund wants federal money appropriated for 9/11 disaster relief to be directed towards affirmative action for women. With us now is Kathy Rogers, an attorney and president of Now Legal. So what exactly do you want this money to go for?
Well, I'll tell you, what we want is we have to rebuild New York City. And we want for women to be involved in that process from beginning to end, in the planning stages, the design stages. And when New York City is actually rebuilt, we want women to have jobs down there so that they can participate and contribute to the rebuilding of our city.
How is taking some of the $11 billion that the feds are going to give New York, how is taking some of that money going to help that cause?
Well, we've never said that we wanted the federal money. What we're saying is that when this project is done, we want women to be included. Now, if we want to get more jobs for women to do some of the non-traditional work down there, which they're so capable of doing, we want to have training programs for them. Well, training programs exist, so let's access those programs.
But so you do want some federal money for those training programs?
Not necessarily, because those training programs already exist. We want to just make sure there's plenty of access to them and that people are looking to those programs for sources of workers.
So you don't want any money from the federal government at all for any of this?
I'm saying that I'm not sure that what we want costs any money.
All right. But you have put in a request, I have it right here, that some of the federal...
I have no idea what you're
Some of the federal money had be diverted for these programs to... Here it is. Now, it's suggested it wants a portion of the money to go towards women's job training programs, child care access, services, helping female applicants win contracts in fields like police work, fire protection, construction, and truck driving. Have you not suggested that you want federal money to go to that?
What we want is when this federal money is spent on the rebuilding project, that women are included in the project.
You want a quota?
No, we're not talking about a quota. We're talking about real opportunities for women. We want participation by women. We want women to be able to contribute to this project.
Well, that's fine, and you can want anything you want, and I hope that comes true.
Right.
But I don't want disaster relief money from the federal government going to affirmative action for women in this. I don't think that's right.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about in terms of disaster relief money. We're talking about money that are going to be spent.
Let me spell it out for you. Okay. It's $11 billion earmarked to rebuild New York and to help the people affected directly for the by the 9/11 attack. Okay, there's $11 billion that the feds are going to spend. I don't want 1 cent, not a little penny, going for affirmative action for anybody.
Let's be clear. We have certain disaster relief money which is going to victims. That's a separate pot of money, and that's what that's for, and that's the only thing that's
You don't want any of that, of course.
Absolutely not. And we don't want any of the rebuilding money, but we want the rebuilding money that is being spent. This money is going to be spent to hire people, to enter into contracts.
Right,
and
exactly.
we just want to make sure that women are included.
Okay, but that's fine, and you can lobby for that all day long, and I'll be right out there with you. But
great, I'd love it if you'd join us.
Don't ask for my tax money to make that happen, because if I have to give it to you to make it happen, then I have to give it to Chinese Americans down in Chinatown, Lithuanian Americans, anybody who wants to get in on this bill.
The important principle here that we're operating on is that this is an opportunity. We have a big challenge ahead of us to rebuild New York. And this is the time when we need to be inclusive of all Americans. We need to tap the talents of all Americans.
Now, why wouldn't that happen in the regular discourse of this? You got Bloomberg as the mayor now. He's a touchy-feely guy. He's trying to, make everybody happy. So it's probably going to happen anyway, just by the bid. You have women contractors, you have women working in firms.
We just want to make sure that it does happen and that it happens.
What do you mean make sure? You're going to be the affirmative action police?
What we think ought to happen is that we ought to be looking at where the money's spent. Women are also taxpayers. We're 50% of the population. We're taxpayers. I think it's perfectly legitimate to say, when we're spending government dollars, let's make sure it's inclusive. Let's make sure that we are tapping into all Americans.
But then everybody has to be represented, too. You see what I mean?
Well,
Mexican Americans have to be represented.
One of the great strengths of this city is its diversity, and we want to make sure that women and minorities are included.
I understand, and I want fairness for everybody. I really do.
Well, that's
but if you're going to mandate something for women, then you have to mandate something for everybody. It becomes a chaotic mess, and you can't operate that way. I'll give you the last word.
Well, I think the last word is that what we want to do is make sure that everyone has the chance to participate and to contribute to the rebuilding of New York.
All right. Well, I hope that happens, but I don't want any federal money going for any special group, even though I love women, and women would be my first choice. I don't want any special treatment or money going for it. Thank you, Counselor, for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up on The Factor, a preacher in Georgia arrested and charged with child abuse. We will grill this man next. Don't miss this.
The Impact segment is brought to you by Fidelity Investments. We can help you see yourself succeeding.
You can slow down investing. You can stop investing entirely. But you can't stop daughters from falling in love.
Hi, Daddy.
Which is why your Morgan Stanley financial advisor will never let you lose sight of what you're investing for.
Like every Subaru, the Forester comes with all-wheel drive standard. The Ford Escape doesn't. The Forester comes with ABS standard. The Escape doesn't. And in independent crash tests, the Forester received the highest rating. The Escape was rated simply marginal. Nice car.
What do I look like? A dummy?
Subaru Forester, a smarter way to build an SUV.
Now you can get an APR as low as 2.9% on all 2002 Forester models.
Hi, I'm Rick from Empire Glass. Let Empire Glass replace your cracked windshield and will now pay up to $100 of your comprehensive insurance deductible. And will now give you 24 free dinners to Sherry's, the Northwest's #1 family restaurant and bakery, with any windshield replacement. So for the highest in quality windshields, including up to $100 off your comprehensive deductible and 24 free dinners to Sherry's, call Empire Glass today at 251-9881. When you think glass, think Empire.
When you're looking to buy or sell a home, it's important to keep in touch with the local market. That's why you should tune in to the Coldwell Banker Barbara Sue Seal Properties Tour of Homes show. You'll find local listings in a variety of shapes, sizes, and price ranges. And at Coldwell Banker, you'll find real estate professionals who work to achieve the perfect balance of needs for their clients. Look to the Coldwell Banker Tour of Home show 7 days a week only on TV Mart, AT&T Cable Channel 15. Let us help you find your dream home.
In the Factor follow-up segment tonight, you may have heard of Reverend Arthur Allen Jr. of Georgia. He and his ministry have been in constant trouble over allegations of beating children. Now, the Reverend and 10 of his followers have finally been arrested and charged with beating 2 young boys during a church service. We spoke with Allen a few months ago. All right, Pastor. These kids are coming back into your charge. Parents, listen to you. Are they going to be beaten again? Is anything going to change?
Well, they're going to be chastised, and when we have kids that can't adhere to lesser punishment, then we use corporal punishment. So that includes a belt or a switch, which is a small branch off of a tree limb.
All right, let me read the audience something that occurred in your trial when you were convicted in 1993. Reverend Allen admitted in court that he ordered the August 92 beating, which he said may have lasted 20 or 30 minutes of a young girl. The beating continued, he testified, until the girl was beaten to submission. 20 or 30 minutes? Reverend?
Well, that's kind of fabricated.
Well, this is the testimony.
Well,
this is your testimony.
But I just did an interview with Dateline, and I spent 3 hours. But out of the 3 hours, only about 1 hour is going to be televised.
All right, but this is live. So you don't have to worry about it.
Out of the 30 minutes, I don't think she was whipped just 30 minutes, like you said. We talked to them, we reasoned with them, and I think quite a bit of that was in talking and reasoning with the young girl.
I'm just reading from the testimony of the court papers here, Reverend.
Well, I'm just
this is what you
what
said to the court.
Happened.
You said to the court that you beat this girl 20 or 30 minutes. Did you or did you not do that?
No, we didn't say we beat the 20 or 30 minutes. That's a lie.
That's what the court testimony says.
Then that's a lie. The court
the stenographer lied?
A lie. A straight-out lie.
All right.
All liars shall have their part in the lake of fire. That is a lie, and I'm telling the truth now.
All right, what isn't a lie
say we beat her 20 or 30 minutes.
What isn't a lie, Reverend? What isn't a lie is that kids have come out of your church after being beaten, bruised, and battered. And also that you've arranged marriages in Alabama for children as young as 14 years old, 14-year-old girls. Isn't that true?
Is it against the law?
What are you doing,
Reverend?
Reverend?
If it's lawful, I'll give the same challenge that I gave to the governor of the state of Georgia. I need to be locked up.
You need to be locked up.
If it's not lawful, then you need to talk to the governor of Alabama.
You need to be locked up because you're abusing these kids, and I'm talking man to man now. You're setting up marriages of 14-year-old girls.
Is it unlawful? Then you need to change the law of the state of Alabama.
You're supposed to be a man of God, Reverend.
Thousands of people getting married at that age. That's their age limit. Oh. You need to talk to the governor of Alabama.
Listen, you're supposed to be a man of God, Reverend. You're beating children.
No, I am a man of God.
Well, you're
I'm not supposed to be. I know what I am.
You're supposed to be. You're beating children.
I know what I am.
And you're arranging marriages for 14-year-olds.
No, I didn't arrange any marriages. The parents arranged them. The parents have to sign for the marriages.
But you encourage them.
I don't sign. I don't have any jurisdiction as far as signing for those kids to get married. Their parents have to sign.
Do you encourage them, Reverend? Do you encourage them?
Pardon?
Do you encourage those marriages?
I encourage them not to have 4 or 5 babies before they get 16 years old and no husband.
All right, so you would rather have them be married at 14. It's an either or. You couldn't say, if your church were so effective, Reverend, they wouldn't be having those marriages. They wouldn't be having those babies. If they were listening to the Word of God, they wouldn't be doing that.
If it's so effective, here Ted Turner, after Jane Fonda said she wanted to be a Christian, he divorced her.
What does that have to do with your kids?
And this was on the news.
All right.
So the church doesn't have anything to do with where people want to get married or not at a young age.
All right, Reverend. Look, I think we've all now seen that there's a judge in Georgia there is not a federal judge. It's a state judge in Georgia. The whole country is seeing that has released children into your charge, which is insane. And I feel very bad for those children. And Reverend, I don't judge anybody, but boy, I'm glad I'm not you. Because if God is up there watching this, there's going to be some recompense here. Because leave those kids alone. Do me a favor and everybody else. Yeah,
but
he is watching,
as far
Reverend.
as the judge,
but the judge in Georgia should be ashamed of himself.
The judge was found guilty of cruelty to his wife.
What's his name here?
And adultery, and his wife and his child was taken away from him.
Well, I don't know about that.
How does he have the moral judgment?
All right, Reverend, we got to go. You need to get some help. You need to get some help, and Judge Sanford Jones needs to be.
You need to get your life straightened out.
All right, we'll try it. Well, now, if convicted, Allen and others charged could get 20 years in prison on the assault charges. Took too long for the state of Georgia to make this happen. All right, lots of kids got hurt while the authorities just waffled around. But now they got him. 20 years he could get, and if I'm the judge, he's getting it. Plenty more ahead as the factor moves along this evening. Why did some newspapers refuse to run an ad against same-sex marriage in California? We'll find out. And a popular anchorman on Hispanic TV says amnesty for all illegals in the USA. We hope you stay tuned for those reports, and remember, the spin stops here.
Sure, the holidays are over, but it's not too late to open one of these. The compact Presario 1700T notebook. It's got hot swappable drives and the incredibly fast mobile Intel Pentium 3 Processor M for just $1349. Plus, we'll give you a carrying case and an extra battery free. So give yourself one last holiday present to open before this deal closes. Call 1-888-271-1430 to get yours now.
If you're going bald, here's good news. Rogaine, Propecia, and the latest advances in hair transplantation can restore your hair. But what's right for you? Now there's a free video that helps you decide. Call toll-free 1-888-900-HAIR for your free video from Medical Hair Restoration, the nation's leading medical group in the treatment of hair loss. That's toll-free 1-888-900-HAIR. Get the video and your hair back.
Coffee? No, thanks. I think I'll get my own.
Perhaps he's compelled by the sumptuous aroma. Maybe he desires the rich, delicious taste that he finds at home. The taste of Javalia Cafe. To experience the pleasure of Javalia yourself, call 1-800-828-1126. We'll deliver 2 boxes of our fine European coffee for just $14.95 with a free coffee maker to ensure you brew and keep Javalia at its finest. If you enjoy Javalia, we'll send more whenever you like. Call 1-800-828-1126 today for your 2 boxes of Javalia and free coffee maker. There's no further obligation. Javalia Cafe. Always a pleasure to come home to.
First Fox News and the FBI to surrender. He's not fighting for some new information.
Islamabad, Pakistan.
Bagram Air Base. In Jerusalem. In Kabul. Kandahar.
From Nairobi, Kenya. Fox News.
Johnny-come-lately, the American Taliban returns home to face federal court and a future that hangs in the balance. Special report with Britt Hume.
The Unresolved Problems segment tonight, same-sex marriage. 2 years ago, 61% of California voters rejected making that legal, but now another attempt is underway to sanction it. The Family Research Council is opposed and wanted to voice its opposition by taking out this ad in the Orange County Register, the Modesto Bee, and El Sol newspapers in California. Initially, those ads were rejected. Joining us now from Washington is Ken Connor, the president of the Family Research Council. All right. Basically, another piece of legislation, after this, the people of California in a referendum said, no, we don't want to legalize same-sex marriage. It came back again under a bill. Is that what happened? A state bill?
That's exactly right. A group of homosexual activists and others sponsored a bill, Assembly Bill 1338, that would grant all of the incidents and benefits of marriage to civil unions of homosexuals, the goal being to make it precisely the equivalent of legal marriage.
All right, who sponsored that bill?
Well, Mr. Koretz in the Assembly, and it was sponsored by a number of additional co-sponsors as well.
All right, so what else was in the bill? They tried to sneak this in, right?
Well, they did indeed. The news coverage was very, very light, very limited. The folks who were the sponsors of those bills, that bill, felt they benefited from that lack of coverage. The effect of the bill was to grant the equivalent status to spouses of civil unions in the same way that spouses and marriages have.
So all right, so the bill was, if you're not married, if you're cohabitating, you get the same benefits of marriage if you're a heterosexual couple, and then they put in another rider, gays too.
If you enter into a civil union, a relationship between homosexuals, you would have all the benefits and incidents of marriage.
But the original bill was intended to make people cohabitating have the same rights as marriage too, right?
It would have exactly the same.
All right, I got it. So now you want to take ads out in these 3 newspapers to publicize the bill and what it says, correct?
That's exactly right.
And they told you they wouldn't take your ad?
They wouldn't take the ad. 8 newspapers that we contacted indicated they would. The Orange County Register refused to take the ad, indicating that they were opposed to the content, but they wouldn't give us an explanation and no opportunity in any way to modify the content. They simply said they were not going to run the ad. The Modesto Bee and El Sol did the same. However, after being called by your representatives of Fox News, they relented and decided they would publish the ad after all.
Yeah, the Bee and the El Sol did, but not the Orange County paper.
That's exactly right. They still refused to, and still refused to.
And you still don't know what, I think what they objected to, what we could find out, was homosexual activists. You had those words in the ad, right?
We did indeed, and 4 of the bill's sponsors are avowed lesbians. They are, within every sense of the definition of the word,
but why did you have to put that
activists.
in? Why couldn't you just say activists?
Well, because this was a bill about homosexuality.
No, but you had that in the text.
Homosexual relationships.
All right.
And the bill was being sponsored by homosexual activists and others who were trying to equate homosexual civil unions with marriage.
You know, it's funny because the Orange County Register is in a very conservative, Orange County, California, very conservative district. They carry my column, and it's just funny that they would do that. But this bill has been withdrawn now, so the whole thing is moot. You don't even have to take the ad out. What happened? Why did they withdraw the bill?
That's right. As a consequence of a broadcast that Dr. Jim Dobson and Mr. Sears and myself did in California, alerting people to the imminence of this bill, the Assembly received hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of phone calls, and under pressure from other members of the Assembly, Mr. Koretz, the prime sponsor, withdrew the bill because it seems that the Assembly officers who were up for election this year didn't want to have the heat of going up on the board.
Whether you favor same-sex marriage or not isn't the question here, primarily. To me, it's the backdoor way they're trying to get this passed. If the people of California vote in a referendum 61% no, don't try to sneak it in another bill that nobody ever heard of.
Well,
that's what offended me about this. I think that's the overriding concern.
They tried to do it flying low and under radar without any news coverage. When we sought to purchase coverage and alert the voters of California about the impending problem, the newspaper, which is supposed to be a forum for public debate and discussion, refused to offer a platform.
All right, Mr. Conner, thanks very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Upcoming, one of the most popular TV anchormen in the world says the United States should give amnesty to all illegal immigrants. We'll challenge that assertion when we come back.
Fox News Live, I'm Kiran Chetri. American Taliban fighter John Walker is now heading to the U.S., where he'll face a civilian trial. And if convicted, he could spend the rest of his life behind bars. Fox's Catherine Herridge has the latest for us.
John Walker is on his way home. Fox News has confirmed he's no longer on the USS Bataan in the Arabian Sea. At the Defense Department briefing today, Secretary Rumsfeld said He has been handed over to the Justice Department.
What kind of a cell he is put into is up to the prison that he is held in during the period that he's being processed through the criminal justice system of the United States. And any suggestion that the United States is providing preferential treatment to people depending on which country they came from, I think would be false.
The expectation is that Walker will stand trial at this federal court in Northern Virginia. It is the same court where Zacarias Moussaoui is being tried. He, of course, is accused of conspiring with the 19 hijackers. Unlike Moussaoui's case, though, the Justice Department is not seeking the death penalty for Walker. He's accused of conspiracy to kill American citizens overseas, providing material aid to a terrorist organization, and engaging in prohibited transactions with the Taliban. In Washington, Catherine Herridge, Fox News.
That is our update. We'll be back at the top of the hour for you. The O'Reilly Factor continues after the break here on Fox News.
Are you getting your market information a little late? Daytech. Built to trade.
At BASF, we don't make the seats. We make them more comfortable. We don't make the lipstick. We make it brighter. We don't make the jacket. We make it warmer. We don't make the floor. We make it tougher. We don't make a lot of the products you buy. We make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
It seems like only yesterday. When I started skating at 8 years old, I never thought I'd experience the thrill of winning a medal. With all the great memories has come another thing I thought I'd never experience, the pain of osteoarthritis.
Vioxx is here, a prescription medicine for osteoarthritis pain. With one little pill a day, Vioxx can provide powerful 24-hour relief. Vioxx specifically targets only the COX-2 enzyme, a key source of arthritis pain. People with allergic reactions such as asthma to aspirin or other arthritis medicines should not take Vioxx. In rare cases, serious stomach problems such as bleeding can occur without warning. Tell your doctor if you have liver or kidney problems. For more information, talk to your doctor about once daily Vioxx for the relief of osteoarthritis pain.
Perhaps my biggest victory is to be able to plan my day around my life instead of my pain.
Ask your doctor if Vioxx is right for you. Vioxx for everyday victories.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly. In the personal story segment tonight, Univision TV anchorman Jorge Ramos has a new book out called The Other Face of America, Chronicles of the Immigrants Shaping Our Future. In the book, Mr. Ramos calls for a blanket amnesty for illegal immigrants, among other things, and a modified open border with Mexico. He joins us now. Now, you know I am calling for the military, U.S. military, to be put on the border to stop the chaotic situation down there. It's not an anti-Latin thing or anything. It's just that, and I do believe, as you do, in a guest worker program. But I believe Mexico should pay for it, and Mexico should do the paperwork and all of that, present it to us, and then we say, okay, so-and-so can come in and so-and-so can't. Where am I going wrong?
Well, I agree with you that it's a chaotic situation, but what I understand is that there are 8 million, at least 8 million undocumented immigrants in this country. They are in this country because American companies are hiring them and because American citizens are hiring them. So all these immigrants are needed in this country on one hand. So this is the economic argument to give an amnesty. Many people do not like to call it an amnesty. President Bush doesn't like to call it an amnesty. He likes to call it a guest worker program, a legalization program.
But if you make them citizens, then basically, and Ronald Reagan did, you're just saying, hey, first of all, it's unfair to the people who are playing by the rules, who haven't come in illegally. I mean, they're sitting there waiting for their visas, and they're going, hey, what do I, you know, if I broke the law and came in, then I'd be rewarded. And second of all, you're encouraging more. Because after President Reagan did the amnesty, there was a flood of illegal immigrants coming in here. But did you know, Mr. Ramos, did you know that 25% of all the people incarcerated in California are illegal immigrants. 25, and that's not
no, Mr.
in
O'Reilly,
detention.
but the thing
That's
is,
criminals.
I mean,
that's criminals.
What you want to present is that all immigrants,
not all,
well, many immigrants are criminals, according to your
many are,
but that's not true.
But 25% of the, population.
The truth is you want to concentrate on the negative. The truth is, let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
All immigrants, both legal and undocumented, contribute more than $10 billion a year to the economy of this country.
Right.
All immigrants. So immigrants are a very important part of this country. Immigration is inherently American.
Right. And
every single person in this country, every single person, you included, it's either an immigrant or a descendant of immigrants, with the exception of Native Americans.
You'll
so the
see.
fact is that if you want to concentrate on the negative, of course you can.
I don't want to concentrate on the negative.
But the positive is that immigrants do contribute much more to this country than what they take from this country. So it is not true that they
illegal
are
immigrants.
or that they are terrorists.
Illegal immigrants are divided into two groups: those who are hardworking people who want to make it better.
Most of them.
Do you know them all personally? Because I don't. There's 8 million of them.
No, but I can tell you
25%. Look, you can't just gloss this over, Mr. Ramos. 25% of all the people incarcerated in California are illegals. That's an enormous number.
Yeah,
1 out of 4.
What's your argument, Mr. Ramos?
That there's a lot of bad guys coming over.
Yeah, but not all of them.
No, not all of them. But a lot of them.
Some of them, you want to put every immigrant and every foreign-born in the same category, and that is simply not possible.
What I want to do
Let me tell you something.
is regulate it.
Immigrants do contribute much more to the economy of this country than what they take from this economy. Of course, there's also a national security argument. After September the 11th, many people, and I understand, have anti-immigrant feelings, but it is in the best interest of the United States to give an amnesty or a legalization program or a guest worker program, any way you want to call it,
let me tell you
to know exactly who they are, to identify them, and to locate them. It is in the best interest of this country.
It is. So I'm going to give you my plan, and you stop me when I go wrong, okay? First of all, I say to all illegal immigrants, you have to register in the next month with the INS right now if you're in the country illegally. That's what I say. That's number one.
Eventually, if that means that they're not going to be deported?
Well, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to say you have to register so we know who you are and where you are.
If there's a possibility for an amnesty?
What?
If there's a possibility
No, there's no string attached to that because they're in our country, so we make the rules, not them. So I say, I'm the president, I say, you have to register within 30 days at the INS so we know you're here. That's it. I'm not making any other promises, okay? Then I get the list.
Well, what's going to happen to them?
Well, I'll tell you. Then I get the list, and I see who's here and where they are, all right? And I handle, and if there are some people that are, you know, Mohammed Atma, and we check him, and he's got a record, he's gone. So anybody with a record, it'd be gone.
No, I think nobody would argue against that.
And then for the rest of them, I basically say, you can stay, depending on their circumstance, depending where they're working, where they are. You can stay, we'll give you a green card on the temporary, or you must go back and register in your own country, a guest registry, a guest worker.
That's not going to happen. Many people are not going to go back to their country.
I know that.
There are 8 million people.
I know that. I know it's not going to happen.
In this country,
I absolutely know. A lot of them will be afraid, and a lot of them wouldn't register. Then, after the 30 days, I would tell my government, you catch them, they're out of here. In the meantime, I put the military on the border, seal it,
but what would
and
you do?
nobody be able
it's
to come
completely
across.
absurd to bring the military to the border. Very simple. I mean, I don't know where you get your facts, but 6 out of 10 immigrants, undocumented immigrants who come to this country, they do it by plane, Mr. O'Reilly.
That's okay.
So you have your facts wrong in that sense.
But
so
you have millions coming across the Mexican border, a lot of them with
not
drugs.
Millions, not millions.
No, there's millions that come across every year.
No, Mr. O'Reilly, you have your facts wrong. Every day, 1,000 immigrants cross the border. That means no more than 300,000.
1,000 cross the border in Arizona alone. Okay.
No, Mr. O'Reilly.
These are border patrol stats.
The INS has the statistics.
These are border more than 1 million illegals come across every year. Now, they don't all stay here.
That is not true.
Some of them go back.
That is exactly. But what happens is that every day, 1,000 immigrants do cross
1,000. From Brownsville to San Diego, you're telling me 1,000 immigrants come across here?
There are 2,000 miles of
right, you're telling me only 1,000?
1,000 a day. So, but let me tell you something. It is a double standard and hypocritical to criticize the immigrants, to pretend to close the border, which is clearly impossible, and then at the same time to benefit from the work of the immigrants. You are benefiting from the work of immigrants.
You're a well-traveled guy, right?
The house where you live was most probably built by immigrants.
I'm not anti-immigrant, Mr. Ramos. I just want it regulated.
Most probably was harvested by immigrants.
Fine.
Every restaurant and every hotel where you go most probably is serviced by immigrants. So you are criticizing immigrants, and at the same time, you are
I'm not criticizing it. I want it regulated because it hurts the United States to have
Let's
the chaos.
regulate it. Let's
Now,
give them an amnesty.
you're a well-traveled guy. Did you ever go to Europe when the Berlin Wall was up?
I was
the
right
East
there
German?
on
Now, you
Berlin.
couldn't get in or out of there. There were very few. You're telling me that the United States military could not seal that Mexican border? You're crazy. They could seal it in a month.
They could, if
they could seal it in a month, and they should seal it. Because that would stop the chaos.
I don't think you understand what's going on right now in the border, Mr.
I've been there many times.
Yeah, I've been there many times too, and it has nothing to do with law enforcement. It has nothing to do with military operation. It's simply an economic issue. It's the law, supply and demand. As long as there are workers in Mexico who need jobs and who are making $5 a day.
Of course.
And as long as there are jobs in the United States in which
they're
going to
come.
The $5
I don't blame them. I blame the United States government for allowing the chaos and the narcotics and everything to come across.
Yes, it's chaotic and it has to be changed. But here are the solutions. First, you have to give an amnesty or a legalization program for 8 million undocumented immigrants. And then you have to reach an agreement with Mexico to have a more orderly flow of immigrants from Mexico to the United States.
You got to reach that agreement.
Third,
but I
you
wouldn't
have
give the
to
amnesty.
understand that this is a multicultural, multi-ethnic, multiracial society, and that the ideal society that you want, it's only in your mind and it's only in the past.
And you have to realize that this is a nation of law. And
this
must
is a nation of immigrants
obey,
also, Mr. Wright.
That's right. And we must obey the law and do it in an orderly fashion.
And they are here because American companies are hiring them. And
we'll take care of the American companies. Provocative book, and we appreciate you coming in and talking about it.
Thank you very much.
Okay. We come back. Mike Tyson at it again. A brawl ensuing in New York today. The question is, why is this guy still allowed to fight? A report after these messages.
Town & Country Mitsubishi says you choose. Forget about the down. Forget about the interest. Forget about the payments. 000 on all new Mitsubishis, Monteros, Montero Sport, Eclipse, Lancers, every model. You choose at Town & Country Mitsubishi. Drive home happy.
There are places that I know where people they can go to play their favorite games. Just call it out by name. It's America's game, the one and only Powerball. And it does good things for Oregon. It's America's game, the one and only Powerball.
Lottery games are based on chance, should be played for entertainment only, not investment purposes.
At the Porterhouse Restaurant, good food and good fun come together. Many restaurants have good food, but the Porterhouse Restaurant combines it with a fun, friendly atmosphere. So come in and enjoy a night out. From karaoke to the newest ITS golf game, you'll never get bored at the Porterhouse. When your meal is ready, you can enjoy outside dining next to the waterfall or relax and watch the game in our sports bar. Good food and good fun at the Porterhouse Restaurant on McLaughlin, south of the Bomber, across from the Oak Grove Fred Meyer.
Boys will be boys, and they do love their toys. Explore the high-tech, high-power, high-price gadgets from millionaire marvels to million-dollar toys. Boys' Toys on Modern Marvels, beginning Monday night, January 28th, only on the History Channel.
Sponsored by Mattress World.
Town & Country Chevrolet says keep it simple. We've slashed the prices on all models. Plus, Chevrolet will give you a $2,002 rebate. Save big on all models, from Cavalier to Corvette, from Trailblazer to Suburban. Don't miss out. Town & Country Chevrolet. Drive home happy.
In the back of the book segment tonight, more foolishness involving boxer Mike Tyson. A brawl erupted. A press conference to announce his fight with Lennox Lewis. It looked like a real fight. This doesn't look like one of those stage things that Muhammad Ali used to do. But who knows, boxing being what it is today. With us now is Fox Newsman Brian Kilmeade, who witnessed it all. So whose fault was this?
There's no doubt about it. It was Mike Tyson's fault. I mean, he had a menacing glare when he walked out. He was 5 feet from me. He walked to his little podium. So at 5'10", he stood about 6'1". He was about to face a guy that was about 6'5", on the podium about 6'8". If they were together, it would have looked like a joke, although we know how ferocious Tyson is. When he got done with his introduction, he stared at the blank podium. He walked over, took off his skull cap, and walked right over to where Lennox Lewis was. His bodyguard did the right right thing. When you have someone like Lennox Lewis can get sued in anything he does because he is, a lethal weapon, because he's a trained fighter, he stepped in. That's when Tyson's people are claiming that Mike went nuts. He said the
why did
bodyguard
Tyson go over to Lewis? Why did he go over there?
We don't know that.
We don't know.
Maybe he was trying to hype the fight. Maybe that he was possessed. Just looking at his eyes, he looked like he was ready to fight. He had that Tyson glare on.
Well, his wife just dumped him. You know that. She's divorcing him.
Well, that was a done deal. That was like a year ago.
And then there's a wire copy thing today from Las Vegas that the police say there's enough evidence to charge him with rape in Vegas, but the authorities declined to prosecute. So he wasn't in a good mood to begin with.
But this is Tyson's timeline. I just casually asked our brain room to pump us out his timeline. Since 1982, with every victory, there's 3 incidents with the law, whether it's purse snatching or jail.
He shouldn't be licensed to fight, should he? I mean, after all the things that he's done, bitten off Holyfield's ear and...
Well, he's been going out of the country. He's going to Scotland. They didn't like him there.
He's been fighting overseas.
And then he fought in Sweden for a while. That didn't really work. So he wanted to come back here, stay out of trouble, and fight. You know, I've seen 2 interviews with him of late, and he's taking he's taking medication, whether it's lithium Zoloft. I don't think they want him as an endorsement, so I don't even know if they want me to mention the product. But, so he is trying to balance out himself. Some people have quick tempers, short fuses. But this was set up. This guy wanted to fight from the get-go, and there's a sense in that room and among people who know him, like Teddy Atlas, that this is his way of getting out of a fight, even though he's buried in debt, suing Don King for his funds, and promised $25 million per fight, and he's guaranteed 2 fights with the guy. He was scared.
So he's going to get
to
fight Lennox Lewis, and where are they fighting? In Vegas?
He was supposed to fight at the MGM, first time since he been Holyfield.
He's going to get $25 million?
It's going to be up to $25 million. It goes to the pay-per-view, a little bit of incentive, but
right,
guaranteed 17.
Guaranteed 17. And when is that fight still going to take place now?
Right, as of right now, April 6th. January 29th, the Las Vegas Boxing Council will meet and decide whether they should reinstate the guy. They already asked.
Of course they will. You know they will. These guys.
No, they've already stopped him once. They already said go somewhere else and fight a few times. Yeah.
Because they're so, I mean, it's such a corrupt game. This whole boxing game is so corrupt. It's ridiculous.
But the best part about boxing is when the 2 athletes get in the ring. And if Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson were allowed to square off, we would like it.
Yeah, of course, because he just hyped the fight by, attacking the guy, and then that's what he did.
I don't fall victim to hype. I was ready for a fight. I mean, I follow boxing. It's probably one of my top sports.
But there was a reason that this guy Tyson did what he did. I mean, I think he's an emotionally disturbed guy, but I think he operates in a reason, and I think he wanted to create publicity. Look at him. You can almost see him.
Publicity?
He wanted publicity, and he got it. He got it. He wouldn't have never been on The Factor tonight. Neither will you, Kilmeade, so you're really lucky.
I thought I had to take a punch to get on The Factor.
Right, and you still might.
I fell through the cracks here tonight.
But I think this is pure
hype.
This is pure hype.
No, this isn't it, because you don't need the hype, Bill. All the media was there already. You need the hype. Just talk. Just mouth off at the podium.
But this makes it much bigger than it would have been.
He is about to cry. The toughest man on the planet is so angry he is near tears. He cannot control his emotions.
Why is he angry? Does anybody know?
Because he's been pushed to that point of no return.
By whom?
By himself, by the little voices in his head.
By the little voices in his head.
Well, they're big voices with a guy that size.
All
but
right.
he is.
So why are we licensing a maniac to fight?
Because America wants to see it. America doesn't know what's going to happen. They don't know if it's going to be a thunderous knockout. They don't know if he's going to bite someone's ear. That's the wrong reason. But that is him with our Mike Fagan shooting him right after while I was up doing some live hit trying to make our Fox News a better place to watch. That's Mike Tyson
he's
outside.
laughing now.
He's calmed down, and he walks over to this guy and he says, "Listen, you're going to defend me, aren't you?" And this guy kind of goes, "Mike, it looked like you hit him. It looked like you started." And he goes, "That's it. I got to walk back." And he just turns around and walks back.
But isn't it sad that we have to have a guy who's emotionally disturbed like this? And he is. There's no question that this is like ancient Rome, where you're putting this guy in an arena. He obviously can't control himself. Anything could happen. He's dangerous. I just think that this is really a sad reflection of America today.
I think what's sadder is he has thrown out $200 million fortunes. Is buried in debt again.
Care about him. Do you really care about him? I don't. I think he's a thug. I think that he rapes women and that he's a brutal guy. I don't care whether he threw away money. I think it's sad that America, allows this kind of stuff to happen.
True. They're buying. America's actually laying out the money and buying. Yep. They're not just switching
And HBO and Showtime should be ashamed of themselves for sponsoring this. Fox News Channel would never do it. Kilmeade, Fox and Friends tomorrow, what? 3:30 in the morning or something? I don't know.
I get up early and they just turn the camera.
Anymore,
well, listen, we're big time now.
Yeah, I know you are. You've always been big time, though. Always been big time. Brian Kilmeade, everybody. Right, next, we'll wrap things up. The most ridiculous item of the day. Well, and some of your mail.
Tom.
Nice to meet you. I got a little held up at work.
Where's that?
L.A.
Introducing the 260 horsepower Acura TL Type S.
Hey, if we get hurt! Whoa! Good thing we got that insurance.
What's that?
What'd you say? Pays you cash if you can't work.
Before that!
I said I'm glad we got that insurance.
Not that!
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Reading to the kids at the library is the highlight of Fred's week. But some days, his COPD keeps him from being there. Chronic bronchitis or emphysema associated with COPD can keep you from doing simple things.
But now taking Ceravent helps me take fuller breaths.
Nothing can reverse COPD, but taking Ceravent twice a day can help improve your lung function around the clock. One call is all it takes to find out more about managing your COPD. Call 1-800-704-4705 right now to get 10 tips for taking fuller breaths and a $10 rebate. Ceravent should not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms or be taken more than twice a day. Some people may experience increased blood pressure, heart rate, or changes in heart rhythm. Ceravent is a prescription medicine and may not be right for everyone. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure, or take MAOIs or tricyclic antidepressants. Ask your doctor if Ceravent is right for you.
And start taking fuller breaths.
Call now for your free tips and rebate offer.
Tomorrow on Fox News Live, they track them down and bring them to justice, hunting al-Qaeda terrorists in the U.S. Should we call in the bounty hunters? Tomorrow, our exclusive story.
I don't care how long it takes. I don't care where they hide. We're after them.
America's war on terrorism. Could the next target be Iraq? From failed diplomatic attempts to weapons of mass destruction to its growing military power, is the U.S. on a collision course in the Middle East? Join us for America at War, Target Iraq, hosted by Britt Hume.
Time now for the most ridiculous item of the day. As you know, very few people are banned from the Factor, but Alan Dershowitz is one of them. The latest involving Dershowitz appeared in a New York Post editorial, said he may be working as a consultant for the legal appeal of one of the Libyan terrorists convicted in the Lockerbie bombing of a Pan Am jet. The Scotsman newspaper reports that appeal is being paid for by Libyan dictator Gaddafi. Dershowitz says he's only working for a British law firm. Think Klaus von Bülow knows the real story? Could be ridiculous. Finally tonight, the Mail about the family of Martin Luther King Jr. charging money for his likeness. Leslie Stewart, Gladstone, Michigan. It is sad that Dr. King is now being treated as a commercial property. His family has enslaved his memory for profit. Bob Foreman, Newcastle, Washington. Bill, relax and embrace the King family. You are both capitalists of the first order. Somebody should profit from a man who did such magnificent things. Jack Philbin, Matawan, New Jersey. The King family should remember Dr. King said, free at last, not fees at last. About the prisoners in Guantanamo Bay. Ann Walsh, Sunnyvale, California. I'm a stay-at-home mother of a 2-year-old boy, and I can honestly say the detainees at Camp X-Ray get more sleep, more meals, and more showers than I do. Lieutenant Gavin Burns, Shreveport, Louisiana. Michael Ratner was wrong when he said the Geneva Convention requires prisoners be housed as U.S. soldiers are. The correct tenet is that prisoners must be housed as they would be in their own army. Cuba is much better than a cave. About the teacher in Colorado suspended for telling 7th graders she would shoot them if they didn't do their homework. Virginia Walls, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I teach 16-year-olds, and it's a cause for celebration if 10% of them turn in their homework. If I fail more than 25% of my students, I'm blamed for not properly motivating them. When will teachers get the support they need? Robert O'Dwyer, San Diego. Bill, Jim Carrey's movie failed because he spoke out against you. My God, the ego on you. Oh, stop it, Mr. O'Dwyer. That was obviously a jest. See, when laughter arises, humor is involved. Jonathan Vernon, Netherlands, Texas. Mr. O, I refuse to see Carrey's movie because of the inaccurate things he said about you on Oprah. All right, Jonathan. Lori Tarnowski, Brick, New Jersey. About the No Spin Zone movie starring Bill O'Reilly. No. Jeannie Matthews, Lakeland, Florida. O'Reilly, you are a loudmouth. You are so jealous of Bill Clinton because he and Hillary are intelligent people. I'll sure be glad when you get kicked off the air. You'll be bored, Jeannie. You'll miss me desperately. And Bob Buchanan, Shrub Oak, New York. Bill, I don't know how anyone can put a label on you, but you are Irish Catholic, and that and conservatism just don't go together. Mr. Buchanan, have you ever heard of your namesake Pat? Plenty of Irish Americans are conservative and plenty are liberal. That's what makes us interesting. And that website is always interesting. www.foxnews.com/O'Reilly. Factor gear for Valentine's Day. Now listen, flowers only she's laughing over there. Flowers last 3 days, and then they're dead and ugly. Factor gear, if properly cared for, lasts forever. Also, how about emailing us with some pithy comments? O'Reilly@foxnews.com. O'Reilly@foxnews.com. Name and town, name and town, name and town. Got a letter from Nairobi, Kenya. Had name and town on it. I was very impressed. Letter didn't like me, but that's okay. They don't have to. All right? Keep it pithy if you wish to opine. That is it for us today. As always, we thank you for watching The Factor. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Hope to see you again next time.